Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. It's gonna be a little different than the videos I usually do on my channel because, you know, I'm an equestrian gamer, but today we're taking it to the real world, and I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the work I've been doing with Colby, my horse that I'm care leasing. And today I'm gonna be doing some bridleless riding for the first time with him. And excuse me for looking like an absolute crazy person here, but I was just trying to kind of get his feet moving and his mind in work mode and him paying attention to me. And as you can see, I'm using crouching as kind of the cue to move his hind end. It went okay. We definitely have some work to do in that arena though. Then I tried out this stretch exercise on his pole, just putting pressure on it and getting his head down. And then we did a little bit of lunging, which looking back on this video was taken a couple weeks ago, and now I'm like, I did not know how to lunge. I actually just took a lunging lesson, so I'm looking back and I'm like, what is she doing? But I was doing the best I knew how with the knowledge I had at the time, so I'll give myself that. And to be fair, I don't look like I completely don't know what I'm doing. I actually did a lunging session with him today, and that went a lot better. I focused a lot more on doing transitions and getting him a lot more forward and up there, and my hands weren't up in the air like a crazy person. And despite my slightly more knowledgeable self looking back at this and cringing inside a little bit, it was still a really good start to our session. And I started our ride with a halter on. I think it's just nice to have that extra little safety net just in case he's feeling spunky, and it gives me a chance to feel him out before we go completely bridleless. We did a lot of haunch turns to begin with. Most of the time the forward motion is the easier part with him, so it was a lot about doing the stopping and turning his hind end and just turning in general. That is the biggest pieces when we're doing bridleless work. Then we did a lot of serpentines and zigzags, just kind of moving him everywhere randomly and sporadically. He's really good at neck reining as it is. It is slightly different though without a bridle, so I just wanted to make sure he was still doing great. And obviously, as you can see, he was neck reining like a champ. He turned this pole like an absolute king, and I mean, just look at that nice tight turn, am I right? I gave him a little treat because he was such a good boy. Do I need any other reason? At this point, I was confident and ready, so we picked it up to a trot, and what a gem. I mean, look at his head. He is so good. This horse brings his head down so low, though. He's just so cool. And then we did lots of overly exaggerated stops with my legs sticking really far forward and sitting down in my seat, obviously paired with some scratches and treats, as every training session should. At least that's what Colby thinks. And then we picked it up to a trot once again, and I think we were both feeling pretty comfortable. And again, Colby, the head, gorgeous. I was getting to that point where I was feeling ready to take his halter off, so I was like, okay, let's do a few more overly obnoxious trot to halt transitions, and pulled that off. And I was feeling really confident, so we took off the halter and we started our official bridleless ride, which would mark our very first bridleless ride together. And he obviously did not have a care in the world. Such a good boy. Props to Colby for being such a good sport. We kind of went through the motions once again, but this time without the halter, doing a lot of stopping and a lot of haunch turns just to see how he was doing without that halter. It took us a second, but we did manage to get a nice little haunch turn step, so I was very happy with that. Plus some backing up too, which he did really well. I was honestly kind of surprised he backed up so nicely. I didn't expect that. His owner has done such an amazing job with him, I will say. So we got up to a trot again, and we even did a little turn around this pole at the end here, which he did like a proper gaming pony. Look at that. Which he got, you guessed it, more treats for. I think this was one of Colby's favorite rides ever, just because of the amount of treats he was getting. What I was doing here, we will never know. Maybe side passing? Maybe just moving him. I don't know, but I got a good shot out of this with his tongue sticking out. That was a pretty good shot, I will say. Anyways, we spent the next good bit just trotting around, switching directions, turning, doing stuff like that, kind of preparing him for doing some cantering. He was getting a little lucky because a horse was getting turned out here. had been a good 30 minutes. I was ready, Colby was ready, so we did a little transition into a canter, and it was kind of a weak one because it broke down pretty quickly after it started. But no worries, we regained our balance and I got him once again in a canter. Look at that. It was so good to finally canter brideless. Like, that's a good feeling right there. You feel like you're one with the horse or something. Not really. We're really just cantering in small circles in a small arena. But hey, it's a big step for us, so a win is a win. But seriously, it's great to kind of quiet his mind, especially being primarily a Western gaming horse. That can be a lot for their brains. And you bet your bottom dollar he got a nice big treat after that. Being able to canter brideless is just a lot of fun, so we spent the rest of our ride not doing anything training wise in particular, but just kind of enjoying ourselves. Anyways, everyone, we're gonna wrap the video up right here because our ride ended off right here. I'm really excited personally to see what our journey becomes and where we go together because I really want to do a lot more with him. I kind of am looking into getting an English saddle right now, and I want to do some jumping. I definitely want to do some more bridleless work. I even want to do some liberty possibly. But the next step is definitely tackless, so watch out for a tackless riding video coming up. Anyways, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone!